Hello again, this is Old Man PHP. I create PHP video tutorials for the old guys who want to learn a new skill and compete with the young crowd. This is video number 124J, as you can see right there. And the title, Improve the Ad and the Update Form. Let me just see. This is that's the actual dashboard, and what I did was I went to the ad part of it, right? This is the ad part right here, and I added several things. So if we take a look here at the actual, you will see that I added a whole line: the reorder, the location, and you select your supplier, and you select your category, right? That's what that is. And as you can see, I added other entries to the database. I did one for steak and one for milk. So the reason why I did that is because before I'm saying to myself, okay, we'll concentrate on these guys, but how about the rest of it? And I have variables that were pointing that I was assigning information just for the time being, but in reality, if you had this in place in production, you're going to need a way of adding the reorder and the location, those kind of things. So that was why I added these other input values, which is right. So you see this right here. This is your input bot. Why I keep doing that? Let me just go like this for a second. See? I'm just moving it for time being. Doesn't mean anything. See how I made the prices? I added the steps. You already seen that already, right? And that will take too long, but you can type it in. And the same thing with quality. So I'm saying, okay, fine, we got this, we got that, but I need to add those extra things too. So I did the reorder point, I did the location the same way, placement, reorder, that's what you see here, these little things there. And then I added the category because you want to read it, and it'll read that database to see if it's there. And this is what gives you those lists, like right here. And so if I wanted to add a let's say bread. I don't know. Let's say we do raisin bread. Yeah, that would be good. I like raisin bread. And then if we say that would be great. How about we make everything uniform like this, and I mean we could change it anyway. It'll probably put it in the database the right way anyway, like this. And then what do you want? 10 of them maybe? How much is bread? Man, I don't ever go to the supermarket. I never really do. That's why I'm so out of it. I'm gonna say $15. I don't know. How about $12? We'll say $12. Who's gonna be the supplier? I only have one, so that's the Amazon. What will be the order? And if it went below a certain number, I want it to. We're gonna say 5, like this. Where will be the location? Where would you keep this bread? That's how I'm looking at it. Well, this could have been differently. Why not? I'm just doing that right now until once I get almost everything in place, which is basically actually done, except for the reports. I would love to create a whole section where it's just different types of reports, that will be real good. But anyway, for the time being, let's say kitchen, right? And is bread, let's say bread is produce. We'll do produce. Maybe we'll do um, um, bananas. How about that? Bananas, like that. We'll say BAN. We'll say BS. And we're going to say 10, Amazon, produce, we'll put a tree. And then we want to add it, right? Maybe we hit the add button. Where is it? Add item right there. See, it's right here. And remember, it's between the form. This is the closing form, and this is the beginning form. You know what's going to happen? It's going to go to the master template. This is what I'm leading up to. Once we do this, we save it. Boom, you see it? It's saved. Let's bring this up a little bit. And then you got your bananas. Okay? If you needed to edit this, remember it's the same crap that we talked about. Edit. Just say, let's say 12, like that. And you got 12. And the same thing. Now, if I wanted to do the prices, and how about all these other things? I would love to at least change it, because I don't think I want to make bananas produce. I might make it something else. Well, when I go to change it, what happened? We hit the multiple, right? The multiple buttons. So we hit the multiple buttons. So you show you click on it, and here's your multiple buttons. Same thing, you gotta save it. Let's say you want to go back to, let's go back to 10. And this doesn't make any sense. You go like this, Amazon, of course. Now, when you hit this cancel, it'll take you right back to the original look without this here. What the hell's going on? Okay. I've been feeling sick too, so that's another thing that's been big too. Thank you for asking. All right. So if I want to do this, I want to change it, enter the database, boom. Look, I changed it back. Did I change it? Yes, it was 12 and I changed it back to 10. Remember? You say, how you do this? How you get to do this? Why did you change it? Now remember the action PD.php, that's the one that kind of did all the action for me. I started to pull away some of these things out. Soon it'll be this too. But right now I was doing the insertion. That's the part that we just saw. But I'm doing it this way. And right now it's a simple way, right? With the binding and all that. But I want it fast. I want speed. Did the same thing with the update. You do the update, you go like this, you boom, boom, boom. This will be with the delete. Remember when you hit that button to get the multiple block? This is what this is. Sends it to the turnover equals to block. Remember we saw that? So when you go to the turnover, which is above, you'll see it right here. It goes into block and then goes here down the line. Right here. If it's equal to block, then you see this, because in the meantime this whole thing is there, but we don't see it because it's invisible. But we're going to make it visible. And that's why when you hit these buttons for each of them, you get this, and this is what gives it to you. Okay, now let's get back to the master. In the action, this is what gives me that, which is okay. I'm keeping this, which is cool. The find, like to find the database situation, this is what it used to be. This is what it used to be. If I didn't have the master template, then this will do the stuff for me. Of course, I will have to add other things, but this will be the thing that will do it for me. the fresh goes you right back out. So if you kind of went like this, when you hit the fresh, it kind of puts you right back, okay? Now, the search is also another thing too, because we had a situation with a search. So let's search as, let's just do that one. And when you say search, boom, you only get that one, okay? You only get that one. And if you want to see the rest of it, just hit that, and you'll see it. It's all here. Let's cancel that. Okay, that's what that search. So when I did the master template, I wanted to create a very secure. Remember how we kept talking about how we create those. Remember also the border and the colors around the whole thing. It was all about that one page that had all kinds of input boxes, combos, check boxes. Remember that one? Let me see if I can find it. If I can find it here. No. Let me see it. Military. No. No. I don't know. I thought I had it. Huh. Strange. I thought I had it. Well, if I find it, I'll show it. So if I go to the master, which is, this is the master. Where, oh, by the way, let's go back to the dashboard. You know how you do that search, this little search thing here? Well, what happens is, where is it? There we go, it's right here. You notice that the form doesn't have like a method or an action. You know, like the normal forms like this one here, which has action and method. Well, this one doesn't. You know why it doesn't? Because the moment you hit submit, it's going to take the same thing that this let's put this a little space here. It's a little crazy. So organized. Yeah, there you go. And what happens if you don't have any of that? It takes the actual original file, which happens to be the current file, this file. So the moment you hit search, it looks for dashboard.php, and that's what this is, right? And it goes right on top of here, configures this, okay, and then it does all this for you. And this is the one that does the search. It selects all the fields from that table where the item like means containing. Anything that contains those things. Anything that contains that, or SQU contains that. That's what the like is. And you got the question mark. So when you execute it, this is what you show. This is what you're containing. That anything that's inside these two things. This one, which is, I'm going to say that it's A. This one is B. A will go to here, the first one. This is A. This will be B. And the second one, B, will go to that one. So because remember how we did the bind value, remember? Which is, I can show you right here. See right here, the bind value, because right now we're using this instead of those question marks. This is the way I was showing you for a long time. Of course, you do a lot more, right? You check for the HTML special characters, all kinds of stuff for the security situation. Remember that reg command that gives you the different formats. Make sure that the word has, 3 characters, special character, whatever it is. Remember how we did that? In this situation, it was just regular simple thing. Just a regular simple thing. Saves it into here, then it goes into the dashboard, which is why the moment it went to the dashboard, you got to see your results. But this is not being used right now. This one is using MasterTemplate, When you do the multiple, is using the master template. So when you go to the master, I like the actions because the action had the so if you want to keep it simple, like the update is already fixed. But if you wanted to, like, let's say that the master template disappears somehow, this will work. Everything that's here will work. I'm not getting rid of it. The delete will stay probably, and I don't know. The refresh, of course, will stay. Maybe something else, but for the time being, the insertion of a database, the updating of a database, I'm letting master template do it. That's because you have a lot more fields, and I want them to check this, to really check and make sure. And this is how I did it. I called this the project cover run master template. That's kind of my website, right? Version, it's an 8.1. You know, a lot of the stuff that I was using before was 7.6, something like that. Now it's 8.1 plus. And this features the CSRF, the honeypot, the global trim, automatic validation, the PDO, the CRUD, plus the select, right? And this is I broke it down this way too. See how nicely it is? The first one is the environmental settings. Now this is for I already showed you before, this is for errors, right? Because you want all kinds of errors. You don't want to see some kind of vague crap that you might want to provide. You want that PHP to give you those errors. Hold on one second. I'm going to take a sip of my water. And then this is a session, right? If you don't have a session set up here, normally what we would do, right? We would do something like, basically we'll be here, but the config will show you. Let me see. I'll show you the new config file, the one that's, because it doesn't have any value. I mean, see how it has this section right here? Because you're calling this session, it'll do this for you, you know? Let's go back to the master. Okay. So this will give you that. And if for some reason you did not start it, it'll start it up for you. Because you're going to be using sessions. So you might as well make sure you have it. But just in case that didn't work, just do this. Now, in this one, this config doesn't work. I just left it there for, you know, future things because I'm already doing it using the dashboard, right? But I do have an open database thing. I'm not going to show you because it's going to show you the credentials of my database. But what it does is the same thing as this. But matter of fact, I can show you this. That's for sure. See this? It has all these stuff here that you get from the database, and then it creates your random byte to hex, you know, with the 32 byte random thing that we talked about before. You know, that crazy long 32 character long, that kind of thing. So it creates a session for you because it's already started, so you can do that. So, but I didn't want to do it like this anymore. I wanted to put this whole thing into a function. So what I did was I did that. I'm sorry, I apologize. And that's what this is right here. So what happens is, where are we? Right here. It starts it out for you, and it creates a function for you. And then right here, of course, remember all the stuff that we did before, checking out the for security firewall. I did the modify to get or read operations, and this finds out what you're using. You know, when the form sends something, remember that method? It says you go post or get. This was, you get this information from this. This is a global variable, right? And then of course the method, you say, oh look, it's post. Is it a post? Yes it is. So then checks out for CSRF, honeypot, only to apply to the data. Oh my god, the time is running. Anyway, and remember, you've seen this before, how it checks. If something wrong, you get that message. If you got a bot, something, if you do got it, it gets you a message. And then now we're going to sanitize. This is how we're doing it. We're putting everything in an array. We're going to call it filters. Put a little space here so you can see it better, like that. And what I did was I created, so we're using search and item name, and we're using all these things. So we're going to give it the specialized schema that you need. So this is what this is. These are the filters. And if it's character, yes, special characters. If this has got special character, even this. This one, quantity, is just like a 10, 100, 1,000, right? It's a valid, it's an integer. It fixed allow that decimal in prices. So you know you got prices and unit prices. I also put my filter, which is what you see here, into another array, but a flag. See, I want to put flags, and the flag would tell it, hey, you're sanitizing your number. It will be float. That means you're gonna have like a dot, whatever, like $10.00, $10.50. That's what this is, and you have to flag it. You gotta tell it, oh, it's gonna be a fraction, allow fraction. That's what that is. Then you have your description, special characters, and then you got your reorder point, which is integer. Then you got your location, special characters. These are all the new way of doing things. They got rid of the other way. How we were doing is deprecated, but now this is the way to do it. And if I guarantee you, once I get the maybe 2 other items completely done in this master template, you can use this master template for every form. For every form. Alright? Because you know what you do with forms, especially when you're dealing with database, what do? You got stuff to edit, you got stuff to delete, you got stuff to add, right? And to search, to select. It's always going to be that. Because it looks this way, it looks that way. It could look differently, but it's always going to be that. So why not create a template that you can use for all of it? And that's what I've done here. And that took a little time, by the way. I apologize to you and to YouTube. Should have had this ready on Monday. Plus I was sick too. I don't know. I just keep getting. We're going to talk about me. Anyway, and then we say, look, to determine the input source based on method, right? I want to see if my form has a post, or if it doesn't have a post, you know what it's going to do, right? It's going to give you a get. Then the data source will be get, input get. But since you did get post, then it'll be this one, post, input post. So when you do the inputs, see this inputs right here, which you're going to use, you're going to say filter input array. And because you're using this as an array, right? This is what you do. This is, you're using these filters, which is here, and this will be the source. And as you can see, a lot of this stuff is the same names that you use for the forms. Let's go here. See these names? You're using it for the form. That's what that is. See, forms. So that way it knows what to do. So you do the filter. Now you use inputs like that. And then when you do the inputs, you're going to say, okay, global trim and cleaning. You want to trim and clean, right? So you want to map the function var. What the hell? I don't understand why I keep getting. Oh, you know what it is? Oh, I see. Oh, sweat. That was supposed to pick somebody up. Oh, man. Hold on 1 second, guys. Give me a second. man. We just only have to. It took me a few minutes because I'm trying to explain some few things to you guys. And I did the cleaning, right? Then over here we're gonna check the return string, and you want to trim it. Look, you want to trim all that, all those things that come in here. You want to trim all this information that you're getting in here. You want to trim it. Remember we talked about that. And then of course this is how you do it. This is mapping this with this. It's crazy. It's a good thing. One day we'll explain this completely. We'll have a whole thing just on this command. And then you're formatting for the database professionalism, right? Which you know, like to say. And then what we do is we say, oh, okay, if it's not equal, if it's not, remember this, and inputs, that's what this is. Inputs, and then of course you do the mapping, inputs, and these are the names of all this, guys. It's in the filter, see? You got the name and the filter together. Is it empty? You go, so if this is empty, then I want you to take, right here in this situation, I'm just taking the name. I want you to string to lower it. I want to lower everything, right? And then I want you to take the first word of the name or the description. I want you to make it into an upper character word. Get it? So you even if you wrote it down here, character, big words, capital, and you submit it, it's gonna look at this and say, oh, okay, you submitted it, but I'm gonna make it lower. Then I'm gonna make it upper. So you're kind of like, just in case somebody decide to put it in as a lower or the caps, it's on uniform. So I'm making it uniform. That's what that is. What is? And of course I'm only checking for these guys. You know, the other ones like the numbers and stuff, I'm not checking for them. That's because I don't need them to be up and low. Those are numbers. And then we'll make sure it's not empty anyway. I mean, I could put it in here. You know, maybe we'll probably add that too. See how it uses my connect is using your form. It goes, it uses the form. Why I have so much space? That's because when I'm playing around with it, I put a lot of space so I can see stuff. Because, you know, I wear glasses. And this is your CRUD. See? Database operation CRUD. I want to try. I want you to try this. You go like this. That's the closing of that. Where are we? Here it goes, right here. I want to try. But if for some reason none of that stuff that we're doing works, I want you to give me an error, which happens to be this. You've seen this already. The try and catch. Alright, so let's go real quick to the input. This one is the one for the search. You know how I told you about the search right here? But I'm letting the I'm letting the dashboard to do it for me because I kind of added it over here. But what's going to happen is in the long run, I'm probably going to say, you know something, I'm going to make it part of my master template, and I will put it in here. This is why you see, you know, these kind of things for the search. But we're not going to worry about that right now, because when I do get it completely, it actually does work. It's just there's a little error that comes up and I don't like it. So I'm going to fix that first, and then I'm going to give you another video that will explain this using your master template. Right now we're doing the insertion, right? When you add information to the database, which is what you did here, or I did here, you just want to put, you want to check it. It finds out that it's a post. Yes, it is. Is it called insert? Yes, it is. So if you go to dashboard, where are we? See, right here. Insert the name. That's what this comes in. It finds out, oh, you got it set. Remember we talked about this. Remember this input? It's what we did, inputs. That's what this is right here. Inputs with the filter. all this. And if you look at it closely, it's a yeah. It's the if statement. Yeah. I'm checking it. I'm very strict in checking. And this is how I assign to a variable. Remember the suppose. Yeah, that's from a database. Oh look, emptiness, and this is a session you get from when you create a session. It's like a cookie. Remember that? We talked about that. In this situation, we say, oh, I want you to check. I want you to compare whatever's in the token and whatever's that came into the session. If it looks okay, or if it's not okay, give me this error. Do this and then give me this error. Kill it and give me this error. And so you know what this looks like. It's an if statement. You know this is an array, right? You can see that array. You got an array within the array. We talked about that, right? This is like it's like an if something statement. I forgot what I got a name for it. I forgot. What happens is if it's not post, it's going to say true, post. If this says that it's not post, maybe like a get, then it's also was not post, it's going to be get. So make sure that this becomes part of the data source. So when you put it in here, get, in the filters, it works together. It's like having the form and then doing the post to get that information, you know, automatically before. Remember how we used to do post, input post, and see if I have it. Let me see if I have it. Maybe I took it out. I just want to see if I have it here. No, I don't. Who has it? Who has it for me? Well, I'll show you another time. So basically, that's what that is. If you do it like this, it's perfect. As long as you could do this, but you need this so you can put them together because you're mapping an input array. It's a filter. You're mapping these things with these things. Just making it clear. It's more advanced, but you know, keep making it clear. And of course, you do the cleaning, which is your mapping. And of course, you check, and you've seen all this. You've seen all these commands. And right now, I'm trying this. Oh, let's do this. Connect. Does it connect? Yes, it does. Perfect. Keep going. Then you want to do a get, because you want to do a search, which would be this, but we don't have it set up yet because I have it set up to go to the actual dashboard. It'll do it for me. That's just another way of having it like that. But I prefer to do it like that anyway. But I'm going to make this work, and it works. Everything completely works for me. It's just that I had a weird error that came up on top. It's just that it did not like, where is it? It did not like this. So I'm going to have to figure out where to place this so I can get that working. Otherwise, leave it the way it is and just use this. But it's good to have the master completely do a lot of it. You need to like, now you're saying to myself, well, how about the actual supplier table in a category? What happens if you need to add a category? Well, we're going to have a section for that too, and this is going to have a complete master template too, the same way, because right now I'm only dealing with the input, the update, the select for one particular table. That's the find table, which is this one, find item table. Everything is about this, okay? So you keep going. So now we're going to insert it, right? After you insert it, it's going to say, hey, after you finish, do the, oh, this is a master, right? And this is the hard-coded default for fields that are not in the add form. you know, because when I was doing it, I said, well, I didn't have all these set up, so I made one up for location. I did a variable for each of these things, so that way I can kind of check it out, you know, which happens to be this. But you know, as you can notice, you got category FK, supply FK, and you know, it's all there in the filter. Gotta make sure you put it in the filter. I even have the search in the filter. That's why it works. But I hate that little thing of an error, which I gotta find out how to. Maybe we just place it in another section, so to go avoid that. Anyway, this is what happens. So this one uses the form data value, right? If it exists, and if it doesn't exist, hey, it says right here, I put a 1. Oh, for some reason it didn't add into it, put a 1. Same thing here. For some reason I didn't add this here, put a 1. That's gonna do it for you. Same thing with kitchen. If you don't put anything else, let's say for some reason you just skipped over that and you hit it, put kitchen. This is just for me because I'm doing a inventory thing for the kitchen, what things are. Then it's going to expand to, we're doing this for a household. I'm going to give you a full thing here, man. You can create your own little thing with it. You can do whatever you want with it. All I know is I'm creating an app for it, and I hope you don't beat me to it. And then after you've done all this, check it out. Same thing. See? Same thing. You've seen that before. Remember the prepare statement? You need the prepare statement. That's the most way to do it. Let's move this up a little bit. Save it. And once you do all that, then it'll go to the dashboard. This is why you get information right away. The moment you add it, it gets included, then you see it, right? So that's what that is. This dashboard is when it goes to the dashboard, it gives you an error, some kind of, maybe I'll do some kind of way of putting a nice little box up here that, you know, like when you add something, people can see it anyway because you're looking at it over here. Maybe we'll have something that'll pop in the middle, or we can just leave it like. But for now, we just leave it like that. Doesn't do anything anyway. And this is the update. Once you finish the update, it's the same idea. It's the same idea. You check it to see if it's a post. It is update because that's what we put in the button, the name of the button, right? Update. And of course, you want to show your ID because that's what you're looking for. Then you set the U price equals to the price, and if you don't price, put a 0. If there's a price that you got a problem, then just add a 0, which this will be, or whatever number you get for the unit price. That's like the fallback if a unit price is like empty. It's just a way of doing it. But once you add something to it, it avoids all this. It just does this part. And this is the command to update. And you've seen this already. Set this to this placeholder, and then the placeholder, you execute it. And it's funny, you say, well, how you bind the value? Just like this. How you bind the value. See how you bind value, which is great. I love it this way too. Well, you don't have to, because now the execution command's going to do all that for you. It's going to bind those things to you. Right here, look, it's being bind. The thing is that you don't have, is it here? You don't have that word that says bind. Because right now this is it has become an object, and this is a method. You give them the 2 arguments, and you're going to bind this with this. So automatically this becomes binded in here, description, and then once you get all the way binded, then you execute it. You notice how it's just a blank little thing? You see it? Then you can do the header. Well, this will do it for you. See? You put it all in there for you. That way, I did that to cut the typing. The problem is when you're dealing with this, you gotta test, because sometimes you get it messed up. And you'd be like, how you do this? You know? And look at the unit. Where is it? It's the bind. Right. Unit right here. See? And I don't even have to use this stuff because I put it into a, where is it? Right in here, to a variable. Where is it? Where are we? Where is it? Let me, I'm gonna have to buy this person data because I'm supposed to pick him up. I'll tell you what, you already know what's going on. You see what it is. I'm going to provide this whole template, this master template towards the end after I finish 1 or 2 more videos to show you the complete everything. That way you don't have to use the action. I might use the action. This is the action. You know, I might want to keep it anyway. I'm going to give it to you guys. It might be your choice. But I'd say the master template is really the way to go. And we'll have that completely done. I'm done, to tell you the truth. I'm completely done. I'm going to see what this is. Let's go right here. Let's look for it. Where is it? Oh, here it goes. To ensure that the values ain't empty, and if they weren't in the updated form, then this is what you do. Put it in here, falls in place, gives you this or gives you that. It will be 0 or whatever the price would be, then that will have it too. That's what that is. Once you do that, you go like this and you're done. Usually you do the binding and then you do the execution, but in this case you are binding while you're executing it. The execute will be binding it for you, and that's it. And go into the database and you're seeing it. When you see that it popped over here or that it changed this over here, that's because it went into the database and did it for you. That's what that is. Isn't that a wonderful? Look how wonderful that is. And of course you see this one, the low stock. Look at that. You got a stake. Current stock is 10 and you got a reorder point of 50. So now we need to change that. We need to order some more. So in this situation, what we're going to do is we'll have this will probably automatically send it to the vendor. But maybe we could just right here have another button that will say, okay, so we need to order this. Let's change this order, right? And let's see what I put. If I wanted, why did I put this? You know, yesterday is why did I put? Oh no, log me out. The timing, yes, that's fantastic. I love that. Okay, what was it? Was it steak? So I'll come here. Where is it? It was 50. So we really wanted was 5. So let's save that. Oh, look, isn't that fantastic? So I gotta make sure. And let's go. Then we go to look. There you go. All stock levels are healthy, but you gotta make sure that you gotta get those, those shelves stocked up to make this work. That should be part of the other, and I will get that done. But anyway, if you did enjoy this, and I'm gonna give it to you. Listen, I'm gonna go slowly right now. You see what I'm talking about? I mean, you've seen these commands already. They're nothing new. It's just a matter of how you put things together for it to work for you. How you cut times, how you cut the number of lines. And it works fast too. Oh man, I apologize for that noise. let's see, don't worry. I'm going to have all this in the description below when we're completely done. And it's going to be called, I'll give it a name, don't worry. Anyway, thank you very much. Give me a thumbs up. Subscribe if you think, and if you think that you are going to learn, you're learning some stuff. Look, I even added the delete part too. Right now we can use the action.php file to do the delete, but I'm also gonna make it work here too, just to make it work so we can have a full-blown masterclass situation. And there you go. Thank you very much. We reached the end. Hey, I hope everything works out for you guys. And hey, a good night.